Good morning, good day, good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. As I have mentioned in many previous videos, given the dearth of great movie and TV entertainment in the Anglosphere in recent years, I have gratefully taken the chance to broaden my viewing horizons globally. And as well as fantastic entertainment coming out of countries like India, another country whose movies and shows I have fallen in love with is South Korea. And I recently had the good fortune to watch a 2022 movie from Korea that instantly made its way into my top 5 movies of the year. And there will be a video coming on that soon. The top 5, that is. Anyway, that movie is The Roundup, which is the second in the Crime City series. And with 2 movies already out and 2 more in production, this looks like it's going to be a big series for years, and I certainly hope so. So please note that there will be some mild spoilers ahead. Now, the star of these movies is the very wonderful Ma Dong-seok, anglicised as Don Lee in North America, in those releases of his movies, and he's a big guy and a charismatic action star. Many people will know him for his role in 2016's Train to Busan, and I also loved him in a sporting role in 2008's The Good, the Bad and the Weird, which is a very fun movie if you've never seen it. Loosely based on a real-life story, 2017's The Outlaws introduced his character, Detective Ma Seok-do, and forgive me for mispronouncing any of the Korean names, my apologies, who, along with his compatriots in Seoul's serious crime unit, strives to keep the lid on gang violence and turf wars in the Guro district, particularly in the Chinatown area. Now, Detective Ma is supremely confident and physically intimidating, and takes no shit. But while he does go outside the lines, his main aim is to keep the peace and to stop violence. Now, The Outlaws, and indeed The Roundup, these movies are a highly entertaining mix of brutal action and comedic interplay between the team and the local gangs, particularly some of the more idiosyncratic characters and locals. And in The Outlaws, things get serious when an interloping Chinese gang tries to take over, and Ma, crew, and the locals have to step up to stop the bloodshed and chaos. So it was a brilliant start to the series, and you get to know the crime unit and their great camaraderie, and Detective Ma is an unstoppable force. Don Lee and Ma, his character Ma, must have the hardest slap in movies. Which you have to see to understand what I'm talking about. So The Outlaws was a big hit in Korea, so a sequel was thankfully inevitable, hence 2022's The Roundup. Now this too, like The Outlaws, is loosely based on a real series of crimes, in this instance where a deserting South Korean soldier was suspected of a series of kidnappings and murders of Korean tourists in other Asian countries, particularly the Philippines. Detective Ma is back, alongside the tight-knit crime unit crew, plus some returning characters such as the comedic former gang boss Yang Yi-soo, played hilariously by Park Yi-hwan, who was great in the TV show Our Blues, if you've ever seen that. Also a really cute pair of street hustlers, one of whom is played by the distinctive Yoon Byung-hee, who has been in a number of great shows that I've enjoyed, such as Mr. Sunshine and Vincenzo. Now, the plot follows a similar model to The Outlaws, with a callback to certain scenes, such as Ma's confident opening takedown of a crime in Chinatown, Ma's rather crushing method of gaining Yang's cooperation in the movie, and is a bit of a throwback to The Outlaws too, and crushing is the key word, and the time pressurized trail on catching the big bad also is very similar to The Outlaws, but you know, the formula works so well, I have absolutely no problem with it. Now, the big bad in The Roundup, Kang, is played by another of my favourite Korean actors, Son Sukku, also seen in the TV show, the Korean TV show Designated Survivor, in Sense8, and also a great show called DP, which has got a second season coming up too. He is absolutely compelling as the single-minded and ruthless kidnapper who's not afraid to brutally kill victims, law enforcement, or indeed other criminals to get what he wants. And the action this time takes Ma and his hapless captain to Vietnam to pick up a suspect in another case before stumbling on the murderous spree of Kang. Falling foul of the Vietnamese authorities for their determination to catch Kang despite having no jurisdiction, they eventually follow Kang back to Korea, where he kidnaps a rich CEO and there's a race against time to catch him. The action is fast and furious, but interlaced with some real great down-to-earth humour, and I do love the camaraderie of the crime unit team. Now, the fight scenes almost always played out with knives and fists, as opposed to gunplay, are brutal and viscerally entertaining. Particularly the fight on the bus between Ma and Kang. It's one of the best fights in both movies. Reminiscent for many who've seen Nobody for the bus fight scene on that, except this one I think is even more brutal. The Roundup is easily one of my favourite movies of the year. It's a ton of fun and fantastic entertainment. I can't recommend it highly enough. And I can't wait for the third movie, which is in production now, coming out in 2023, which is The Roundup No Way Home. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment, and consider subscribing. Until next time, stay well.